Since the pandemic, people finally realized that, life was not just about going in a tube in the morning, going to work, sitting down and sending Slack messages to the person sitting next to you. People start to move, move away from the big cities to find a better work-life balance. And people, didn't want to go back to the big cities, to the big capitals, to actually work in an office.
Ladies and gentlemen, remote workers, flexible workers, workers out there, welcome to a new episode of The Future is Remote. I am your host, Kenneth Hellum, the self-proclaimed remote evangelist. And with me in the virtual studio today, I have a French guy with a Spanish name, Alex Hernandez.
Hello, Kenneth. Thanks a lot for having me today.
Thanks for coming. It's a pleasure to have you. Why? Why does a French man have a Spanish name and live in Madrid?
My great grandparents were Spanish, then moved to France, and me going back to the roots, and I'm married to a Spanish woman, and that's why we decided to move to Madrid straight after the pandemic, May 2020, and loving the Spanish life.
It is great, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I know you agree too.
I moved down a year ago, so you've probably been here a little longer than me. But I did visit a couple of times during the pandemic. Alex is a co-founder of Jobgether. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, Jobgether.
Is a job getter like a person getting a job, or is a job getter like someone working together? Where's the name from?
It's a bit of both, to be honest. But the idea was, trying to, when you get a job, at the end of the day, you're not alone. You are together with more people. So that was, a mix of the word job and together, what made the name Jobgether.
Cool. And we're going to have a little demo of the product later. But to kick off the episode in 30 seconds or less, what is Jobgether? What is it you do?
So Jobgether is a global job search engine dedicated to flexible work. And what we do, we help talents find a flexible job matching their lifestyle, wherever they're based in the world.
So flexible work is the key word here. We usually talk about remote on the show, but we also talk about hybrid. We explore the gig economy. So there's lots of terms we're throwing out here. What is flexible work?
We basically define flexibility under three pillars. So the where do people actually work from? That could be for work from home. That could be work from the co-working. That could be work from the office from time to time. So the location is obviously a big part of flexibility. Then you have the when. When do you actually work? For many years, we used to be in the office from 9 to 6, which I don't know who decided that many years ago.
Industrial Revolution, back in the 1800s.
Exactly. And today being flexible is also allowing people to choose when is the best time to work. If I take my own example, in the morning, my wife leaves early, so I'm alone with my daughter. I prepare her to school, and then we walk to school every morning. She starts school at 9 o'clock, so until I'm back home, it's like 9:20. I will not start working before 9:30 because that's working for me. Some people would rather start working at 7 a.m. And some people would rather go to the gym in the morning and start at 10,
Yeah.
And a big part of flexibility is, leaving people to decide when is the best time to work. Some people like to work in the evenings, on the weekends, And the third pillar of flexibility is the how. So how do you actually work? It could be by using the tools that you like, Some people want to work with Slack. Some people want to work with, Discord. Some people want to use the G Suite. It could be the contract that you have. For many years, the permanent contract was the best thing you could ever get. Today, some people don't want to be permanent employees. Some people would rather work as a freelancer. So this is why for us, flexibility comes down to, the three pillars. And with actually a much broader definition of not just remote.
Your platform gives a flexibility score to employers, right?
Yes.
Tell me a little more about flexibility score, how it works, why it's important.
So we made our research back in February 2022, where we heard from a bit more than 1,000 job seekers that for 70% of them, flexibility was the main criteria when it comes to looking for a new job. You can see a lot of public research always give you a similar answer, between 60 to 80% of people wanting flexibility. However, what is flexibility? What is flexibility for you, Kenneth, might be different to what is flexibility for me or for anyone listening to the podcast.
Sure.
When you are looking for a new job, you are, and it's natural, you are looking at different options, you are comparing companies, and we thought to make flexibility a bit more tangible, let's score flexibility. Because if you want to compare two companies on how flexible they are, if one on the same platform, so on our platform, one has a 87% flex score and another one has a 96% flex score, that the second one is more flexible, and then you have all the details. So that's why we actually decided to score the companies. We use today 33 criteria. And again, it comes down to these three pillars of the where, the when, and the how, and we score companies. We are trying to make this score evolving, because what could make you really flexible today, like the 4-day week, for example, if you're offering the 4-day week, might not be that flexible in a few years' time if, let's say, 20, 30, 40% of companies in 5 years' time adopt the 4-day week. That might not put you in such a flexible ranking. But yeah, this is what we do, and we've had so far really great feedback from job seekers, because they could finally have a visual and an easy understanding of how flexible companies actually are.
Very cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing the product. I still want to wait off a little before we show our listeners, because I want to hear your story of how you built the company. You started this during the pandemic, before the pandemic?
It's an interesting and it's a funny story, actually. I was working in recruitment before. I used to live in London for many years. I used to live in Paris for a couple of years. And February 2020, I quit my job.
February 2020.
A week before the world went into lockdown. To make it a bit funnier, my wife quit her job on the same day as me.
Are you serious? The actual same day?
Yeah, the same day. It was the 23rd or 24th of February, something like this.
Was it synchronized? Had you talked about it, or was it rage quitting?
Yeah. In the morning, I was like, I'm going to quit today. I said, okay, I'm going to quit too. Our only plan was, let's move to Madrid, let's buy the house, and let's see what happens. A week later, COVID hit, the world, and we got into lockdown. We were like, maybe we could have kept our job a bit longer, but that was done. I'm a positive person, so I knew things were doing okay. During the lockdown, so it was mid-March, someone introduced me to a guy called Juan, who is an ex-CFO of a big French company, who, same age as me, we really share a common vision of what the future of work should be, where people should be happier at work, people should find jobs for the right reasons, and people should adapt their job to their lifestyle and not the other way around. So after that 2 meetings, without meeting physically each other, we decided to start Jobgether together. So that was March 2020. We launched a first product in October 2020 that we had for a year, which was an algorithm, a matching algorithm, to help people find a job. We, learned a lot along the way. We actually met our other two co-founders. So one guy called Arnaud, who is based in Menorca in Spain, and our CTO, Alexis, who is from Venezuela and lives in Bogota, Colombia, which, by the way, I haven't met physically yet. It's been a year and a half.
Amazing. I bet you want to go though, because Bogota is supposed to be fantastic.
Yes. That's plan. Yeah. And early 2022, we decided to change the business model. We had to make some changes, and also we could see all this flexibility, this remote work was rising. So what we did in early 2022, we talked, as I said before, to a lot of job seekers, and we actually asked them, what is the top criteria for you, when it comes to look for a new job? And as I said before, 70% replied that it was flexibility, but then they told us that they were struggling, first of all, to find how flexible companies actually are. And the second frustration is, on the main job boards that today, you are typing, I don't know, head of sales, Malaga, full remote. The main job boards we are showing you companies from that city. And if you are working fully remotely, why limit yourself to work for a company from the same city as you? It doesn't matter if the headquarters of the company is based in America or in South America or wherever.
Yeah.
So that was really the starting point of, starting this version now of Jobgether, by helping talents to find a flexible job with a company, but it actually doesn't matter where a company is from. What matters is where a company can actually hire people from.
Where the company can hire people from. This is another one where there's lots of confusion. Elaborate a little. What does it mean?
Historically, a London company with offices in London was hiring people in London. Easy. That was the case for many, many years. Since the pandemic, people finally realized that, life was not just about going in a tube in the morning, going to work, sitting down and sending Slack messages to the person sitting next to you. People start to move away from the big cities to find a better work-life balance. And people, didn't want to go back to the big cities, to the big capitals, to actually work in an office. So companies had to adapt. From a legal point of view, if you are an English company, to take the same example, you can legally hire people in the same country. So what companies are doing now, they have basically different options. They either hire that person, as a contractor, so on a freelance basis, or they use what we call EOR companies, so employment of record. And I know you've had Tony from Oyster in your podcast. Oyster is a great example. You have Deal, you have Workmotion, you have different ones. Mm-hmm. And basically these companies, they are in between you and the employee, and they allow companies to hire people in countries where you don't have a legal entity.
So they have legal entities in all of these countries.
These EOR companies have legal entities in a lot of countries. So it's a really easy way to become more flexible and to hire people in a lot of different countries.
Okay, excellent. Because I think the confusion there is one company might say they're remote, but they still might not have the ability to hire in every country. Something we see often, for example, in the US, where a remote company there will hire US-based employees, but not necessarily have the ability to hire, say, in the European Union.
Yes, it is true. Sometimes it's down to legal reasons. They don't have the entity in Europe, or they don't want to use EOR companies. It could happen. Sometimes it's for other reasons, like we are just in the US market, we want to have people on US time zone, which we can fully understand, and actually we see that a lot, that companies, even though they are able to hire people globally for some roles, especially some from sales positions, which are more client-facing positions, they want people in the European time zone, for example. So they will limit the possibility of hiring just to Europe, which is a lot already, but it's not worldwide. However, for some tech positions, the person can be based in Asia or South Africa or Canada. It doesn't really matter.
So as a job seeker, this could be confusing. I look up a company and I don't necessarily know where they hire, how they hire. How do you help?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it is confusing. And this is one of the reasons why we decided to launch Jobgether, because, on the career page, you could just say remote. But again, what does remote means? Remote from anywhere, remote from Europe, remote from France or Germany. So this is why we actually launched Jobgether, and what we are doing and how we actually helping companies. It's on two topics, if you want. First of all, we are helping companies to be visible and to show potential future employees how flexible they are, with a company page where they actually show all aspects of the flexibility they offer. It's very visual, it's very transparent. We're not here to judge how good the company is, or if a company with 79% flex score is not enough. We're just here to help companies become transparent on how flexible they are.
Yeah.
And the second thing that we do for companies is helping them to be visible in the country that they want. Because what's happening a lot is, I am an American company, for example. I could be really known in America, but I've decided to hire people in Eastern Europe, for example.
Yeah.
No one knows me in Eastern Europe. The way traditional job boards work don't really allow you to be visible, everywhere. What we offer is the possibility for these companies to be visible for these offers, in particular in Eastern Europe, and not charging extra per country. You really decide whether your job offers is visible in one country, 3 countries, 20 countries, a whole continent, or worldwide. And that's a big difference compared to the main job boards. Yeah.
One of the things I found really cool is you're out very active, posting on LinkedIn, responding to other people's comments. And often when you share not only Jobgether, but you share a list of job boards. Aren't you promoting your competition?
I mean, we have competition, and it's good that we have competition. When you don't have competition, that's maybe not a good sign. That's maybe due to the fact you don't have a product market fit, maybe. And at the end of the day, you competitors, first of all, I really think that you should know your competitors. And when you look more in depth, you never exactly offering the same service. Some competitors might be better than us at advising companies, for example. We don't do advising. Some competition might be better at specific position that we don't do. And I really believe, and that's probably my sales background who's talking now, bring value to people first, and then you're going to get good thing in return. And as you can see on LinkedIn, I'm really active, and I really have in mind that I want to bring value to people. I want to help people. Don't always talk about you. That's not what people want. People want to have an answer to their problem. If your product can't answer their problem, mention someone else, mention another company. Because if you are helping that person for that problem, in a week or in a month or in 6 months' time, they might come to you because that time you will have the answer to the problem. So yes, it's a long-term strategy, but I personally believe it's the right one. You maybe don't get quick wins, but you will get much bigger wins in the long term.
So how about we have a look at the product? Do you want to go ahead and share your screen and show me how it works?
Yes, of course.
And let's do a real life example. Because yes. I'm out there, I'm looking for a job, I need to get employed at some point, which is part of why I'm doing the podcasts, right? It's to build my brand, build my expertise, build my network.
Perfect. So that's the website. Which job are you looking for? Sales, marketing? tech.
Would you have anything around operations and strategy?
Operation, let's see what we have. We're gonna just go, yeah, business operation. Let's make it a bit broad.
Let's do that.
So, role business operation. You
Yeah,
live in Malaga, right?
exactly. But I can work anywhere. I don't want to move, but I don't care where the company is.
We don't actually care where the company is from either. What we care is where do you live today. So let's put Malaga,
Yeah.
and you want a full remote position. So what we're going to show you now is not companies from Malaga, is companies able to hire you from Malaga. So you have some of our clients at the top, different companies.
So these are the top three ones. They are your clients. So that's your business model,
Yes.
right? You
Yes.
offer them better placement.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, they basically pay to get on top of the searches. For example, Trafi is a company from Lithuania. Platform is a company from France. And again, why you are seeing these offers is because they are able to hire you from Spain.
473 jobs.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So all these companies, what they have in common, they can hire you from Malaga. Revolut is a client, Coinbase. You have a lot of different companies, Polygon. Some companies are American, some companies are Finnish, some companies are English. We don't actually care where the company is from, but we are basically offering you options from companies able to hire you from the country that you live in. Again, if I change the location and I say that I live in Bogota, for example, where my co-founder lives, you will see different offers because the offers that you saw earlier were maybe just limited to Europe. So now that I put Bogota, I will see different offers.
And what happens if you click on one of those? For example, HubSpot, they're 97% flex.
So if you click, you see the offer. You will see all the details, okay, of the offers, everything, okay, here. And if you click to apply, so you can see the company page of HubSpot here because they are a client of us. So you can see the company page. They have a 97% flex score. You can see the flex policy. You can see where they're able to hire people, who can be working fully remotely. What is their remote policy? Do they pay for co-working? Do they do work from, HubSpot authorized 90 days per year to work from anywhere, for example.
Yeah.
What are their working hours? Anything related to the flexibility HubSpot offers is shown here. You can, of course, also see, who's HubSpot. So you have some description and pictures and videos, and you have all the jobs linked to the company page. Okay. And if I go back to the offer, and then if you want to apply, you just click here, apply, and you are being redirected to the career page of HubSpot. In a few days, you will also be able to register yourself on Jobgether. It will be a really short, quick registration. And then for companies, client of us with ATS integration, you will be able to click an easy apply button to be sent directly inside the ATS of the company. Yeah, so this is what we do. We have some great companies from Europe, from America, from Brazil, from Hong Kong, from different companies. And what they all have in common, they are flexible. They want to show people how flexible they are. They are hiring a lot for almost all of them. And they want to attract people from a lot of different countries. So if you are a talent looking for a flexible job, you can just have a lot of options in a website.
Amazing. Thanks for showing. So if you're a candidate out there, go to jobgether.com.
Yeah.
Do your search, find your favorite companies, do your networking, find ways to get in there and get hired. I like to end the show with a specific piece of advice. And if you were to give advice to companies wanting to hire remote talent, what would your number one piece of advice be?
My main advice is you need to prepare it. I can see that companies start to hire people remotely from a different country because the rest of companies do it too. If you're not prepared, that will not work. What I mean by prepared is doing it for the right reasons. And I think the right reasons are you truly believe that is the right thing to do. Don't do it just to save money and pay someone cheaper in a different country. And the right reasons for me are, pushing for more diversity, pushing for more inclusivity, having the willingness to become a truly international company, and onboarding someone remotely is not the same as onboarding someone on site. Creating a culture remotely is not the same as creating a culture on site. Chase Warrington on the podcast he did with you mentioned something really interesting is don't try to replicate what you've been doing in the office remotely. That will not work. For me, my best advice is, yes, go for it, but prepare yourself. Talk to people who have done it before. Because it is a challenge, I'm not lying to you. It's not easy to move from the old style in office to a more remote and flexible way of working. But if you do it correctly, that is worth it like a million times.
I think that's a good place to end it, Alex. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you so much for everything you're doing with the community. Thank you for Jobgether. Reach out to Alex. He exists everywhere. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Thanks a lot, Kenneth, for having me. Had a great time talking to you, and if I could help people, I'm really glad I've been on the show. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Alex Hernandez, co-founder of Jobgether, and you can find them on jobgether.com. If you appreciated the show today, make sure to hit subscribe. The one thing you can do to really support us is share it in your social media. My name is Kenneth Hellum, and you are listening to The Future is Remote.